Good evening. Let me know if the AV is good. I love getting on here and seeing lots of people in here chatting. It's one of my favorite things. Big Steve Glass Boxers was first. Good to see you, buddy. We got Tommy. We got P Tag. We got Jose. We got Mel. Daniel's in. Good to see you, buddy. Seen you were over at Skeptics Aquatics Alive. I think it was yesterday, wasn't it? Got mixed feelings about that guy. Seems pretty good, but he got quite the entourage. But I like him. He has some awesome facts. He seems to be a very educated guy. He seems very obsessed with the comment farming thing and Father Fish. But, at the same time, it's educational too. It's letting people know what can be bad out there and what to look out for, especially people that are not really sure how comment farming and new AI and things work. So he's a very educational guy. He's very crazy, meticulous on his comments. It's very different. It's pretty neat, but I don't know why I got to that subject because I saw Daniel in there. MD Fish Tank's a big channel is over there on there too. So good to see everybody whips in. Hey, Sweet Polly. Tacos from the street are the best tacos on shore. Mama's homemade. Well, I got some bad news. Anyways, got some bad news that I am bummed out about. Hey, Tim. Good to see you, buddy. Hey, Mel. I said Mel already. Sorry. My mind's not 100% here. Just had several things. I was talking to the wife, and right before I jumped in here, there's just a lot of stuff going on at once. Oh, it's not that bad, Sketty. For any animal lover, it's bad. Came home today after work. You guys know I was growing out 2 Oscars in this 55 behind me. Came in, one was missing, found him on the floor, crispy dead. So that bummed me out. Over the fence, he went into the woods. So, like I've said before, when fish die, it bums me out, but it doesn't. If it was a cat or dog, I wouldn't be doing a stream tonight. You guys know what I mean. But it does bum me out. I can't believe he jumped right out of the aquarium in the back. On all my aquariums, for as long as I've been keeping aquariums, I never put that plastic cover on the back. I leave that gap open for pothos or filters, you name it. You guys know the drill. This idiot decides to jump out, which kind of sucks. But things will be okay. We lose fish. Just bums me out a little bit. Yeah, jumpers. You're right, Scotty. But appreciate it. So, and there's just a couple other things I'm dealing with at the moment. That isn't a subject for tonight's stream, but possibly in the future here. But everything sounds good. Obviously, because people, Sketty's replying to me. But where's my head at? The topic of tonight's stream is tools, different fish keeping tools. I've done a stream and a video on this stuff before. Hence, that's where the whole red spoon inside joke came from. Hey, Bob Bravo, good to see you. Yeah, appreciate it, Tim. Thank you. And while I got everybody here, don't forget, Tommy messed up, and that link I put on my post on the community tab there about joining us tomorrow on Rumble. What is it? 6 p.m. Is it 6 p.m. I believe Eastern, 5 p.m. Central. Me, Tommy, Mexicali Fishkeeper, Jim at Happy Place Aquatics, and maybe more. We're going to be doing a big fish live stream over there, talking about fish conspiracies and different myths and things like that, and debunking stuff, and just having a good conversation over there. But he messed up and had to redo it, and so that link on that post is no good. So we are going to take Tommy into the basement later, and we are going to tie him up to a pipe and whip him thoroughly with a python hose. So don't worry, we got it covered. Skate says, "Hi, the blue spoon can kick your red spoon." No. You gotta have the red spoon from Dairy Queen. It's the only thing that works. Whip says, "I had a 3-year-old 12-inch Oscar go through a glass lid hinge door a couple years ago, and I actually heard it, and even the dogs heard it, but I didn't put it together in my mind." Okay, yeah, and I've had mine hit the lid before, but never come out. This guy wasn't, he wasn't that big. He was small enough to get through the back. I hate that. I will send you the link for the live as soon as I get back home. Okay. Hey, buddy. That's my little buddy. What are you doing? He's so cute. He wants me to come see him so bad. You guys can probably hear him. So fish keeping tools. What are the best fish keeping tools to keep around? Do we need to buy into all these modern fancy dancy tools? I'd like for you guys to tell me in chat. What are the 3 main tools you use to keep your aquariums maintenance? Or does it require more? And then I'm going to tell you what I use the most of, because I have a bunch of tools that I don't even use that I probably just need to get rid of. I'm all about efficiency, and part of efficiency is getting rid of waste. Get rid of the things you do not need. If you have a junk drawer, take the time to organize it. Get rid of the stuff you don't need, because when you need something, you go to look for it, you're going to find it. It's going to be right there, no problems. So, what are the tools you use the most? And you're the main tools. Like if somebody came into your fish room and said, "Look, you can only use these many tools to maintain these aquariums," what 3 are they going to be? What 3 would those be for you? Hey, Stephen P., good to see you, buddy. Yeah, absolutely. A bucket can count. Anything you use to maintain your aquariums, what are the 3 things that you would absolutely have to have in your fish room to maintain your aquariums? Skate says bucket, python, and scissors. Bucket, python, scissors, net. Well, that's 4, Sketty. So do we need to up it to 4? I'm a very minimalist type of guy, so I literally only need a few tools. And I guess let's up it to 4. Let me know if we need 5, because everyone does keep fish differently. There's aquascapers, which I am not. There's people that just keep fish to keep fish. That's me. But so maybe we need to do 4 or 5. Let me know. Jose keeps the basic scraper, a python, and a pump. Okay. Buckets. P-Tech says one crazy thing I think is useful to have in a fish room is absolutely not. That is one of my main tools. P-Tag, a toothbrush by far is one of the most tools that I use the most. Which says the only thing I use all the time is a python and glass scrapers and scrubbers. What do you mean by scrubbers? Magnetic algae scrapers you keep on your aquariums, or are you talking about a handheld one, or pot scrubbers? Which, by the way, people were scared. Like, you can use pot scrubbers to get algae off the inside of your glass aquariums, and I do it. It does not scratch the glass. They are harsh, but it doesn't scratch the glass. So that's just a little pro tip for you if you've never tried it. They're fantastic at getting hard to get off blackbeard algae and whatnot. Mel says python, prime, and water. Now, let's exclude products. I'm talking about tools, because everybody, if you're on city water, you're going to need some sort of a dechlorinator, right? Not products, just tools. For example, I know Vibes has one of these. This thing is a lifesaver. This is one of my top favorite 3 tools. Definitely Python water changer can be counted. Bob Bravo for sure. Oh no, if prime counts, then fertilizer. Right. So let's just exclude products. Exactly. Just tools only. Also says fine Python. You're still using prime, Mel. That's a product. A tool. Prime and products are not a tool. They're an additive. They're a product. All the above. Okay, Whipsroll says pot scrubbers, aquarium, bot scrubbers, and Magnaflow magnet. Do that thing. I'll tell you what, and that's another subject we're going to jump into is magnetic algae scrapers. But first, I want to hear what everybody's tools are. Jenna says, I like there's still skepticism driving the creativity in the hobby. It really shows the wide range of ways all we keep aquarium. Absolutely, Daniel. Mel says, fine, picky. Python, bucket, and a net. So that's it. That's your top 3 favorite, Mel. You don't need tweezers. You don't need the claw. You don't need scissors. P-Tag says, toothbrush, Python, glass scrapers. Okay. Okay. And when I get these, I'm going to be looking for a common denominator here. And so far, Python's that. Python, my ox scraping spade. See, that's something I never use is that spades. I actually have used this tool to push sand around. But then again, I just keep fish to keep fish. I try to make the aquariums look a little nice at times, but put the rock in, maybe set it here and do things, but they always end up messed up anyway. So anymore, I just throw crap in wherever it lands. Is what it looks like, kind of like nature. But then again, my aquariums don't look near as good as most of you in here. Sweet Polly says I have 2 tanks, so I don't have many tools. Okay, yeah, but you still have 2 tanks. So and you need tools. What are your top 3 favorite tools to use, Sweet Polly? Steven says I'm sticking with my Python, razor blades, and bucket. So you use razor blades to get your glass clean on the inside. Dan over at Everyday Fishkeeping does the same thing, I believe. Yeah, he even made a DIY one that was really cool. Yeah, what's the best? What are your top 3 favorite fish keeping tools to use? If you could only have 3, Jody, and this will be interesting for Jody because she scrapes her tanks nice and she has a crap ton of tanks, but you're only allowed to have 3 tools. What are those 3 tools going to be? Does a pleco? Nope. Bob. Hands work for tweezers. Yep. Scissors can be hands and teeth. Right. Exactly. Whip says, oh, yeah. And that too, if we're upping it to 4 things. Let's stick to 3 just for the sake of argument. Python, bucket, scraper, and a flashlight. But Cecil, hey, Cecil, good to see you, buddy. He uses a Python, bucket, scraper, and a flashlight. Interesting. The first time I seen flashlight. Really, I rarely use any tools to plant maintenance. Okay. But I mean, we all know Stephen P is a big CO2 guy. His plants grow like crazy. I mean, you have to trim them down at some point, right? Jody P uses a gravel vac, a pump with enough power to get water from my basement to my big tank and glass scrapers. Okay. Bravo, Stephen P yanks plants out with his bare hands. I don't have a gravel vac. I don't own a gravel vac. Okay. I have a gravel vac. Python is going to be one of my top tools. Sweet Polly uses a bucket, a siphon, big scissors, and a tweezer kit. All right, Jose, be safe, buddy. Appreciate you. Jim's Fish uses a net, hose, my hands. That's very minimal. Let's see. Daniel says an airline for siphoning small amounts of water. Small pink water can for top offs. Tweezers and scissors for trimming and replanting. Fingers for occasional superficial shaping, like moving rocks. Okay. Allison, good to see you. Appreciate you coming in. Water pump, tubing, hose, buckets. Crescent wrench. What do you need a crescent wrench for? I'm assuming PVC fittings for a sump. And if so, that's very efficient. 1 wrench, do all the sizes. Mel says, before I had a Python, I had the 1 gallon jug and bucket. Stephen P says, I pinch with my fingers to trim. Oh, okay. So you just cut them off. That's cool. Oh, in a tube. Mel says in a tube. Whip says, if we're keeping it at 3, I have to ditch the scrapers and go to Python, scrubbers, and net. Okay. She says I'm half blind. That's all right. A flashlight is one of my top tools. You got to have a flashlight. Sometimes you're looking for a fish. Maybe a fish died. You can't find it. You're always looking. It even helps when you're underneath the aquariums and you're looking around. Now, I do suggest Cecil, and you've probably already thought about this. For a while, I was using one of them headlamps to go around your head, but they suck. They always fail. They always get loose at the hinge or slide down your head. By far, go to Lowe's. Cobalt sells a neck light. 2 LEDs. You charge them, comes with the charger. You can hold it around your neck. You can put it around your head. You're 100% hands free. I love those. I use them at work all the time. Absolutely love them. JP says, Jesse, I can't type apparently. I own a gravelback, not a python. Work with me. I got you, Jody. Okay. So what'd you do? Go to like PetSmart and get the top fin version. P-Tech says, a 2-prong carving fork for sifting sand if I'm really picky. But yeah, I use a flashlight to really look at my fish closely. Yeah, and that's another good thing of a flashlight. You can really observe your fish, make sure they don't have any ick, bumps, bruises, you name it. Attach a garden hose to a utility sink faucet. I wish I had a utility sink. She says, I got a hair lamp and it's not that good. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. See, so they always fail. Go get you those, they call them neck lights. They're LED. Like I said, they can go around your neck. They squeeze a little bit tight on your neck, but you can take them up and put them up here. They're wonderful. One of the best tools in the world. A lot of people sell them. I think for like $40 at Lowe's, Cobalt sells a nice light. I've been using it and it's been working well for me. And that's in greasy, damp, terrible conditions. Whip says, Jody, I'll just say this once. Well, the python will change your life. Yes. And I believe what Jody was saying is she has a python like gravelvac and water changer, but it's probably the top fin version. It works the same way with a little difference, but by far out of any of the gravelvacs out there, python is 100% the better. The best. The hoses are more pliable, malleable. It's much easier to work with. I love the python. And I also have the hook for when I'm filming. You just hook it in the side, walk away. Joe says Home Depot had a great pack of tweezers for less than $10, and there were 6 different types of tweezers for different jobs. It's very cool. I got a small plier set from Craftsman years ago. It's got different types of small pliers in them I've used for smaller jobs. But I realize that's not tweezers. Joey says, the python is useless for me this time of year. I can't hook it up to a sink because all the water's softened. Okay. Python is a must. Tim says, have to use the hard water spigot. My first one lasted 20 years. Wow, that's a long time. Joey says, not all, Jesse. I just have a regular grab. Okay. Top MF in here. Good to see you, buddy. Can't use Python if on a septic. Why not? Yes, you can. I know what you're talking about because what you're saying is you don't want to suck any sand, dead snail shells, and things like that into your septic tank, right? Is that what you mean, Top? Because if so, I understand what you're talking about. Years ago, I stopped, and Whip and I have talked about this a year or two ago. He keeps gravel. He doesn't like sand because of that. Well, I like sand, and it makes maintaining tanks so much easier. What I did is I started draining out of my window. But I had 2 separate systems to achieve that. I have my Python hanging on you see here. All I use that for is filling. It hooks up to my sink in my bathroom. I have a whole other separate system if I'm draining. Now I use a pump that just drains out of the back door there. But before I was using a separate Python setup, one to fill, one to drain. Dennis says airline tubing for siphoning fingers, small bucket for water transference, and bare essentials. Hey, June, good to see you. Appreciate you coming in. Whip says I use only I use one and use it weekly, and I have a septic. Aquatic Moose, good to see you. Appreciate you coming in, Jesse. Aren't you the best fish keeping tool? Yes, absolutely. The human is the best fish keeping tool. Way to be a thinker and come in. You are the number one fish keeping tool. There is no tool that can mimic and do as good as our fingers. However, you still need a few different ones. She says, I got a camera coming tomorrow that hooks to my phone and I can run it all through my tank and look at it on my phone. The one that Sweet Acres had on her giveaway the other day. Okay, very cool. So why are you doing that, Cecil? Why did you want a camera for getting inside your aquarium? Sweet Polly says I would have a hard time matching the temperature with the python. See, I never do. Over the years, I think you get kind of used to that. A lot of times I would dip my fingers in the aquarium before I'm about to fill it. And while the water's coming out of the python, before you twist it and send the water, I would just adjust my temperature to it feel close to the same. You don't have to worry about exactly matching the temperature. If you're very close, you're good to go. It's not going to kill the fish. I've been doing it for years, and I have been too cold and too hot before because a lot of times, especially me, I'm running 70, 75 feet from one end to the other. By the time I get here, it kind of cools down. So I'll adjust for that. But now I've gotten so good with it, I know where to put it. So when it comes out here, it's pretty close to matching the temperature in the aquarium. You don't have to worry about some small fluctuations. In some sense, it's good. If you're a breeder, temperature change promotes breeding in fish. Just as long as it's not ridiculously extreme, you'll be okay. They ran out of meat for tacos. That's no good, Tommy. You getting beef, steak, or chicken? Whisperell says, Jesse, that's kind of what I do now after destroying my plumbing to the basement sink. Now I just drain it directly into the sump and it gets pumped outside. Exactly. Just don't worry about keep the sand. After years, and Whip obviously can attest, after years of, I don't care who you are, you're going to get something from your fish tank in the plumbing of your house, whether it's dead snail shells, a buildup of sand, which being the worst thing. I just never took the chance. I just started draining out of the window. Beef tacos only. I agree. I like my beef tacos. June says you can get extra hose for a python my long Yep, same here, June. I bought extra. I think I've got about 100 foot of hose, which I hate. I want to get I want to have a utility sink so I can have less hose, because the less hose you have, the more suction you get, and the less you have to wind up when you're done. Excuse me. Home Depot is the aquarium hobby's best friend. I think all the stores can be. I personally, my Tractor Supply, I think is kind of like a lot of people's Menards. I kind of like them a little bit better because you can get most things there at a cheaper price, and you can get different sands there as opposed to just kind of one at Home Depot, or two if you count Play Sand, which I'll never use again. Sue says I can go up in all my caves and behind my driftwood looking for my fish. Okay, I got you. See, so yeah, that's definitely clever. A good idea. Definitely. Sometimes you just can't find them. Taco Tuesday. Tommy says we'll get tacos tomorrow. I'm gonna make nachos instead. Yeah, you got to, because no beef. You can't have a taco without the beef. No. Cilantro is the secret to tacos. Ooh, cilantro is awesome. We are at the bottom of chat. So from what I've seen so far, the main common denominator, and if you could only have 3 tools to run your fish room, is the python, scrapers, and I would have to say tweezers being the third common denominator, what everybody said. Cecil was the only one that mentioned the flashlight. That's one of my top tools. So my top tools are the claw. Get a lot of multiple uses out of these. And don't forget, this has a little cutter on it. So you can actually snip plants with that bad boy. Python, the claw, and a toothbrush would be my top 3. Now, if I was going to add my other tools on, that would be claw, python, toothbrush, flashlight, and I would say a scraper, but I got magnetic algae scrapers on all my aquariums, so I don't need to have a handheld one. However, I do have, like, Flipper sent me a handheld one to review and try out, which I like a lot. It's called the Platinum. You can swap it out for plastic if you're doing acrylic, or a metal one, and you can flip it around and stick it back in, and it's got like a serrated edge on one side. It's a really cool tool, the Flipper Platinum scraper. It's handheld if you are not familiar with it. Another little tool pro tip I want to share with you guys. We all know that the black back plastic on our glass tops, again, I've never worried about using them. I always made room for pop those in the back, your filter inlets and outlets, wires, you name it. But today I lost an Oscar because one jumped out. One of my little ones I was growing out, bummed out. But In the past, I always hated cutting them things because, if you put those back plastic covers on the back of the glass, they're hard to cut to make room for them things if you want to seal it off, which I did because I don't want this guy jumping out. A little pro tip, if you don't have one, oscillating tool. You can get all kinds of different blades. I got a bunch of them. This goes through those things easy. You can hold it by hand, buzz right through them. These oscillating tools are amazing tools. Use them for everything. And by far, it is a great tool for your fish keeping hobby, for things like that. You can cut PVC with it. You can cut pipe with it. Many, many different uses, many, many different kinds of blades you can get. This is a great tool to have around. Something you guys might want to think about if you haven't already. June does use the grabbers. Bob's first Oscar jumped out. Oh, June's not allowed to use power tools. Hey, Janice, good to see you. Appreciate you coming in. So those oscillating tools are wonderful. Cut through anything you need to do. You don't have to go. I know, but the pipe cutters are nice too. Like, the only reason why I have this is because when Higer sent me that fish waste collector, this came with it. And this is a fantastic tool for cutting PVC pipe right through it like nothing. But I do want to shift gears to algae scrapers a little bit, like Whip said. I have a video out on this a while back, probably a year or two ago, discussing my favorite magnetic algae scrapers. I'm going to start with the worst to the best. And you guys can agree with me or disagree with me. And maybe you know one that's even better. I don't know. But everybody knows this thing is the worst invention ever. I absolutely hate this algae scraper. Could you guys, if you didn't see it, can you guys guess which one it is? Daniel uses the tweezers to pluck my unibrow. Daniel says, my wife said that if I lost another finger, she is cutting me off of using the table saw. You lost a finger? You're in the same boat as Tommy, man. Sorry to hear that. June said, I happened to be downstairs when I saw an Oscar on the floor. Still alive. I was happy to see him swimming. He also removed the lid. Oh, yeah. I had a tiger barb come out and hit the floor one time. Luckily, he was still alive, wasn't there very long. Picked him up, put him in the tank. He did get a secondary fungal infection. I think it was mostly due to stress. He did lose his fins. Whip commented on that video that sometimes the fins don't grow back. I've had other successes where I got the fins to grow back, but unfortunately in this tiger barb, his fins did not grow back, but he is still alive today. Nope, it was like, oh, Tommy did lose his. So this magnetic algae scraper here, no one has guessed yet. Can you guess what I feel is the worst magnetic algae scraper that you can get? Take a guess before I show it, because I'm only going to talk about 3 of them. We can talk about that crappy one you can get at Walmart that ain't worth a freaking 2 cents, but we won't. It's so bad we're not even going to talk about it. Oh man, Daniel got it right off. This bulbous piece of freaking, are we at 30 minutes in? I guess I can't swear yet. I heard there's a 30-minute rule. This bulbous piece of crap, I freaking hate this thing. It's so big. It's a tank. When you remove it, it drops because it doesn't float. Sand gets stuck in these things so easy, and when it's in, you can hardly get it out. It comes off the glass so easily, and this is size for the appropriate size tank I have on a still. I freaking hate this thing. What do you guys think about this one? Nope, not the mag float. I like my flipper mag scraper. 6 minutes in. Gina says, I like melamine sponges to clean the glass. Okay. I don't think I've ever heard of those. Yes. There is one out there. I can't remember who I was watching when they were, whoever it was doing a review on the newest flipper mag. It's called the Platinum, I think, or the Double Edge or something like that. And he said even that one wasn't big enough for his size aquarium like you got, June. He used another one that was. I can't remember which one that was though. Jenna says, Mr. Clean. Jody P says, you have to check out the flipper. They have a giant one. June, have you? Yeah. They did the Edge probably still ain't. It might the newest Edge may work for you, June, but it's like $100 or more. But this one here, this I use this. I'll just use this as a weapon if someone's in the fish room. I don't want to be in there, throw it at them. It's terrible. It sucks. My second, this one I actually like. Jody P said it, Mag Float. The Mag Float is actually a really good magnetic algae scraper. Hey, Peplin, good to see you. It floats. It's strong. Mag Float is by far my second favorite. Love it a lot. No problems with it. No complaints. It is $100. And it is worth it there. Which brings me to my top favorite, number one algae scraper. You do pay the money for it, but they are by far the best algae scraper in there, and that is Flipper. I've got the Flipper Max. I've got 2 Nanos, and I absolutely love them. The Flipper Nanos are designed for like a 40-gallon breeder and under. I use them on my 55, and it still works. Now, anything bigger than a 55, you're pushing it. I've shot it around my 75s, but it starts to really lose its performance. But the Flipper Max is absolutely too strong for a 125 and a 75. But if you flip it to the felt side, it still does the job really good, and you don't have as much resistance. I don't think I need to explain the flippers to anybody. Anyone who's been keeping fish long enough knows they're absolutely the best. June has the mag floats. Whip says, I saw the Oscar I mentioned earlier from down the hall, and I actually got mad at the dogs because I thought one of them had taken a dump on the floor. They're big enough. You got a big dog. They're big enough. By the non-brand, Mr. Clean is being sponge. Yeah, and then, of course, getting outside of the algae scrapers, the magnetic algae scrapers, handheld algae scrapers. I'll show you this one. And Flipper makes this. It's called the Flipper Platinum. This is as long as it gets. You can get bigger ones, but this is the one the Flipper sent me for free. What I like about this is you could get these cards. I think maybe this comes with one, but you can see it's serrated on one side. You got different sized corners for getting into corners. This is for acrylic, so you don't scratch it. If you lose this, break this, don't want to buy one, they even state in the menu you can literally use an old credit card and put in here. It's designed to hold a credit card. It's one of the selling features of this thing. Or you can also get the metal blade that comes with it for glass. And I really like this one. So I'll use this sometimes if I'm having something that's a little harder to get off and the magnetic algae scrapers maybe ain't quite doing it. This will do it. And I like that they give you different options. So you don't have to buy these. You can just literally use a credit card, like I said. So this is another one of my favorite tools. And pot scrubbers. Fantastic for getting algae off inside of the tanks. I've seen people question these because they were worried if they'd scratch the aquarium glass. I use this specifically on my 29-gallon because for whatever reason I get a lot of algae buildup. Cleans it right off, and I've never scratched the glass. That is my experience with these. Fantastic. This might be something like right up Janice's alley. Um, Super cheap, multiple uses. You can use them as biofilter media, and you can use them as cleaners. June says she has that scraper. Very cool. Hey, Daniel says, hey, everyone, I just uploaded a short of my 40 breeder community tank. If anyone wants to watch it, wait a minute long. Well, go ahead and put the link to your video in the chat, Daniel. Swiffle's in. Hey, Swiffle, good to see you, buddy. June says, I use it on only one tank. It gets the hard algae in spots. Okay. Yeah. Works pretty good. I like it. It's lightweight. Now, the other one I've had, you guys probably seen it, had it for years, got it from Petco, that black one that telescopes and has the metal blade on it. That's another great tool. This one, I'm sure you've seen this one. I got this from Petco ages ago. And you can press this button and pull the blades out. It telescopes, comes apart. It's got a big old handle on it. Now, you know, Slim Tim was saying he likes his spade for aquascape moving sand around. I'll use this for that too, a lot of times. But it's good for scraping algae, obviously, and other things. But this is actually longer. Maybe there's days you come in and you just want to get a quick scrape of algae on your glass, but you don't want to get your hand wet. This is much longer than the other one, and it adjusts longer and shorter. So I've had this forever. It's a pretty cool tool. What I like about this one versus the flipper one, they give you a little hanging hook. Go to the video, hit share. Oh, he's not sure how to do that. Yeah, just go to your video, hit share, copy link. And then when you come back in the chat, I don't know if you're on a computer or a mobile device. Most likely you're on a mobile device. Press and hold on the chat bar, and it'll give you an option to paste. She says, on glass, I use steel wool for that brown crab. Really? You're kidding me. The steel wool doesn't scratch the glass? Sweet Polly says, noob question. Can you use the same scraper in multiple tanks, or can that possibly spread any diseases? There's the potential's there for sure, Sweet Polly. But if you know your fish don't have disease, and all your display tanks, I use all my tools in all my aquariums, but I also take time. And this is another thing I wanted to talk about. When I was using heaters, I rarely had problems with failed heaters. I could still have the problem because I go to work. I'm not home all the time to watch, and I do sleep. So you still have that potential in those areas of time. But I made it a habit. Every morning, I would grab my flashlight, Cecil. I'd grab my flashlight, and I would grab my temp gun. I had one of them thermometer guns to make it easier. And they're accurate. I have measured the accuracy between those temp guns and the old style thermometers, mercury thermometers that I have in all my aquariums. Every morning and every night before I go to bed, I make sure all my filters are running. I make sure all the temperatures are good. And I use my flashlight to see and make sure all my filters are running. I would check every tank every morning, every night, and I knew I was good. Yeah, Whip and I are on the same page. It is a possibility, probably, but the chances are low. I don't worry about that personally. I don't either, because if I get new fish, they go to quarantine. And I'm keeping an eye on them on my 20-gallon long quarantine tank. I know all the fish in all my display tanks are fine. And I use the same Python for filling all my aquariums. I use the same pump for draining all my aquariums. And I've never had an issue spreading disease. But that doesn't mean it couldn't happen. The potential was always there. But if you observe your fish and you watch your fish, you're going to know if there's a problem with one of them. And then you need to do your research. What diseases are contagious, right? Ick. You know, you just, because there's some diseases that just aren't contagious and you don't have to worry about it. But I can't remember what all those are. Hey, Atkins, good to see you, buddy. June says, I try not to use the same tools on tanks. I like my tanks to be in quarantine. Okay. Whip says, the only thing I do separate is when I'm working in quarantine tanks. Yeah, same. I do have separate equipment for my quarantine tanks. I had a whole separate gravel vac water changer for my quarantine aquariums, but unfortunately, I needed more hose. I didn't have any. I needed it now, so I had to take the top fin gravel vac apart and splice that hose into my Python, so I could get the length I needed. Even tanks with wild caught fish. Depends on. I mean, if I had new wild caught fish and they were in my aquariums, if I caught wild caught fish, I'd still put them through a quarantine period. I would. I always like to start with salt. I don't like to go to the meds unless I have to. Some people will do that, and I did it too, where you're just going to automatically use the medicine to be sure. And it's definitely nothing okay or nothing wrong with that. It's safe because you know with that med tree you're getting everything inside and out on most of the common aquarium diseases. But wild caught fish, I mean, yeah, I mean the potential's there. So, but I would be putting them in the quarantine first before they ever went into a display tank, unless that display tank is empty and these wild caught fish are the first ones to go in, and then you can just watch it there. But then again, you don't want to spend a crap ton of money on meds dosing a very large aquarium. And I know June has large aquariums. I'm putting my quarantine tanks as 10 gallons, 20 gallons, because I always buy my fish small. Swiffle shared the new addition to his fish room. June says, for me, I don't like adding more fish to any tank. I do. I don't have a problem with it. I honestly never had an issue doing it because I quarantined first. Atkins says, pipettes are my favorite tool. Different sizes help a lot. Pipettes or pipets? Pipettas? What is a pipe? What is that? I don't know what you're talking about. Atkins. So we talked about everyone's most main tools that I like to use, and it's funny. P-Tag and I seems to be like the only one that uses a toothbrush. I think maybe somebody else mentioned it. Toothbrush are fantastic for cleaning impellers, cleaning out areas in canister filters where the seal goes. If you're cleaning your aquariums your canister filters once a year, you need to lube those seals. So when you take them off before you put them back on, you got to make sure there's not a snail shell down in the groove that it seats into, or you have a leak. It's very important. Toothbrushes are fantastic. Toothbrushes are great for getting snails off things. It grabs them right up instead of your fingers. Cecil uses a toothbrush also. I love my toothbrushes. They're a fantastic tool. P-Tag agrees with the toothbrush. Yeah. Atkins, but they short ones. Janice says just sub Daniel. I got to check and see if I'm subbed to Daniel. I got to make sure of that. Oh, that's another thing I want to discuss. Go through your subscriptions. Go to some of our channels and make sure you're still subscribed, because that is still a thing. Who was it? I can't remember who it was. I know I subbed to them and I come across and I was watching one of their videos and I said, what do you mean subscribe? I'm already subscribed. What the heck? And it's someone that frequently comes into my live streams. I can't remember who it was. So I subbed to them. Again, they will take it away if you go to someone's channel. You got to make sure you leave a comment, and like at least 1 or 2 videos so YouTube don't think you're a bot and remove the sub. So we talked about the favorite tools that everybody uses. We talked about algae scrapers. We're talking about using separate tools for quarantine setups and things like that. Already a good live stream, and it's only been 44 minutes. We talked about a lot, but that's partly because I talk fast. I get to and here, this next section, I want to ask you guys, I got 25 people in here. I want to get some feedback, and I need honest, truthful feedback. Do I talk too fast? Does everybody like the speed at which I read comments? Because I got to tell you, if I was to give somebody feedback that lets the chat get built up so far behind, when you ask a question, it's going to be 20 minutes before they get to your question, right? that always bugged me. So I know that's one of the points I made in my live stream that I get through, and I'm always keeping up on the chat. So, but I talk fast naturally and I read fast naturally. So it's easy for me to do. It's not easy to do for some people. My brain processes very, very, very fast with everything I do. I'm always thinking 3 steps ahead. So it's very easy for me to do that. So I always wonder, do I talk too fast to people? Is everyone satisfied with how I do the live streams and keep up on the comments? You're not Ben Shapiro. You're good. Ben Shapiro is insane. Ben Shapiro. I talk fast. Ben Shapiro is, I like Ben Shapiro and I like Charlie Kirk, all them guys. But that Ben Shapiro, he's something else, dude. He could be a fantastic rapper because he's a motor mouth and he says everything. You can understand everything he says. Daniel says your pace is well measured. Good, sir. Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate it. He did a rap. I did see that. Yep. I did see that, Tommy. You're right. But oh yeah, and I did talk about the Rumble. If you guys don't have Rumble, consider if you want to consider downloading Rumble. It's not hard to create an account, very simple. And then you can sub. We're trying to grow the fish community over on Rumble. It's very non-existent. We're over there trying to grow it. Tommy, me, Jim, and Mexicali Fishkeeper are going to be over there tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central, and we're going to be talking about fish keeping conspiracies, myths, busting myths, talking about things. It's gonna be good. We might get into some arguments, but why I like to boast Rumble is because you get a little bit more freedom of speech over there. You can swear, we can yell at each other, and you're not going to get in trouble for it. Because at the end of the day, I think most of us can have these kind of conversations, mother F each other, and still be friends in 5 minutes when we're done. I know that's the relationship I have with Tommy and Jim. And I'm pretty sure Mad Mex shares that same mentality. June says, I have learned to listen faster. Yeah, and that's the thing. I talk too fast for people. I text too fast for people. I've been told so many times to stop, slow down. They can't keep up. Yeah, get the link, Tommy. Whipsrow says, hey, buddy, everyone in chat, got to roll. Got to get my nerd on and play some D&D. All right, we appreciate you, buddy. Be safe. Thanks for coming in, my friend. The swearing part is the best thing about it. It is. You can go and it's not just swearing. You can literally talk about any subject and not get shut down. No one's going to get it. I mean, people might get offended. I mean, but over at Rumble, there's no consequences for that. So now there still can be consequences. I think Tommy ran into a situation like that once before. I don't know the details. You didn't really want to talk about it just because it wasn't worth talking about. But nothing he regrets. Just the only downside of talking fast all the time and getting to the points and it's my mouth gets dry and I have no beverage in here to drink. Sketty, I have to download Rumble so I can tell you how I really feel. Yeah. Well, Tommy says that, I mean, we're trying to get rid of censorship, right? Freedom of speech. So I guess YouTube might be following in line with that. So pretty soon we should be able to talk what we want to talk on YouTube too, but it's just Rumble is designed for the smaller creator. If you want to make money, you can make money over there now. If you want to buy the premium subscription on Rumble, it's like $10 or $11 a month or something like that, $10 a month, and you are instantly monetized. You don't have to wait to get a certain amount of watch hours and subs. When you pay for the subscription, you are instantly monetized, and you can make money now as long as you use the platform to make your videos and stream through. You can't do a third party and go from like StreamYard to there. It doesn't work. You have to go through Rumble in my experience. And I think Tommy can confirm that, but Jim's been, and you can even add these promotions in these, what are they called, Tommy? Campaigns in that every so often, if you have about 30 people in your live, they'll give you an ad to read and you just stop and you read the ad and you make so many cents off every ad you read. There's a lot of cool differences over there at Rumble. They are decided to, help the smaller creator. M&C did say that, hey buddy, appreciate you coming in. He had Rumble but deleted it, and I was in that same boat. M&C, I had it over a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago or so, and it was dead. So I deleted it, and then all of a sudden everyone started else going over there. So I re-downloaded it. I went back in there, and I'm enjoying it. It's fun. It's something. It's a change. Yeah, it's only $9.99. Dan Shore and Housewares. Oh yeah, right. Campaigns. Swift don't want Rumble, hate new platforms. Teach your own. You don't have to. It's just, like I said, we're just trying to grow the community over there. You don't have to. Teach their own by far. Just a consideration type of thing. Tommy says some of them are less than 30 people. They change each week. Swiftle, I put the link in for YouTube as well. You need it again? Okay. Yeah, because see, when Tommy streams, he's streaming from Rumble to YouTube. So you'll see him on both platforms. But what's the third one, Tommy? So Rumble, YouTube, what's the third one? Nightbot going to work. MC says no more Rumble. Twitch, quite a few others never use them. So yeah, same with me. I went down that same rabbit hole. MC a couple years ago. I had YouTube, TikTok, Rumble, Facebook, Instagram. How many social media platforms do we freaking need? And I'm in the same boat as you, MC, and I really don't get on any of them anymore except for YouTube being my primary and Rumble, and that's pretty much it. And now that I lost my iPad because I broke it and exploded the screen, I no longer can get into my TikTok and Instagram, really. So, yeah, it was something I wanted to tell you, Tommy. I can no longer get into our group chat. I can no longer get into Mexicali's group chat. I think he's the one that created it. I could do it on my computer. I do have TikTok on my computer, but can't do much with it on a PC. It's designed for mobile mostly. Same with Instagram. But it is nice to get rid of the fluff. Get down to one or two and focus on that and be done with it. It does get a little, and Jody P was in that same boat. She did not. We were talking, I think it was on my comments on that post where she's good with what she's doing. And I get that 100%. It can get overwhelming. You know, there's a lot of us out here. We're trying to keep up with everybody and support everybody. And it gets hard when you're trying to do that over adding on multiple different platforms. The new Northfin food is not available anywhere. Still not. They still don't have it, huh? If I get some more, June, I think you're on Discord. Message me on there, and I will get some over to you. If I get it in my next shipment, which I don't know when that will be. MSC says, be leaving Instagram soon in Discord. Okay, MSC, I got you. Yeah, I understand fully. I get you, man. It's so much easier to just focus on one. I don't blame you for that. Teach their own, my man. Tom said, I tried to do Rumble only, but I want to include my YouTube people as well in my live stream. So I created this one so I can do that, right? Just keep the YouTube and Rumble. As far as I'm concerned, that's really all you need. All those other ones are fluff. But to each their own. I mean, they are slightly different each one, so it's going to appeal to different people. Me, I'm totally fine doing YouTube and Rumble. June says, I only get fluval bug bites. Daniel is not there either. Daniel's not where, June? Rumble? Oh, can we order from Northfin site directly? I get all my... Before I was sponsored by Northfin, I got all my Northfin food from Amazon. But the new one they come out with is not posted on Amazon yet, is what June's saying. MNC said, New Life sent me a box of foods to try. See how it goes. Yeah, let me know about that. MNC, New Life Spectrum is by far one of my favorite foods. It is a high quality food packed with garlic. You can smell the garlic coming out of that every time you open them, and every one of their versions. I still use NLS Algae Max as a part of my veggie mix, in addition to veggie Northfin pellets. But I was always impressed with their foods, their tropical flakes, their beta flakes, or their beta pellets. It's good food. Can't go wrong with it. Hey, Foxy, good to see you. Appreciate you coming in. I'm just on YouTube. Doesn't Rumble have a lot of gaming? Yeah. Daniel, you can say that over any platform. There's gamers everywhere. So you really can't anymore. If I was going to say there was a platform that was more geared toward gaming, I would say that's Twitch. For sure, hands down Twitch. But there's gamers on every platform, so don't worry about that. No, Rumble is the same thing as YouTube. It's just a much smaller, has a much smaller user base, but it has a lot of different cool perks that you can't get with YouTube. MSC says, my fish won't touch Extreme. The Extreme sent to me. Oh, that's cool that you got Extreme sent to you, man. Extreme Aquatics was one of my favorite foods, too. I've used many of that. I've had all their different versions. My Oscars do not like the Extreme Monster 9mm pellets. They don't like it. They spit it out. So what I did, because I already bought it, as I ground it up in a coffee maker so I could feed it to all my fish. Yeah, Rumble has everything, and they just come out with a new update. Tommy was saying where you can add banners and things, kind of like StreamYard. I'm assuming you meant, Tommy. How long do you keep your tanks on? Good question, Janice. Because I actually lowered it because I was having too many algae issues, and again, that's something I had to play with and adjust. Before, I was keeping them bad boys on 10 to 15 hours a day. Because I like seeing my tanks in the morning and I like seeing when I come home. And when I come home from work, God knows what time that can be. Sometimes I needed to do work and I needed time, so I needed the lights to be on, right? But I was getting too many algae issues, too many cyanobacteria issues. So I dialed it down to 8 to 10 hours a day. So I make sure they go off at 7 o'clock every night. But they're all a little bit different because they're all on timers. But no matter how much you try to tune that in, they never turn off at the same time and they never turn on at the same time. But that's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. But I try to keep it between 8 to 10 hours a day. I think that's plenty of light. It more mimics the day and night cycle. Well, I have my lights mimic my work schedule. Let's put it that way. And that can be anywhere from 8 to 10 hours a day. Someone says it's been 3 years now and videos over 18 million views. Yeah, there's a ton of gamers on Twitch. June says my longfin Oscars are not on freeze-dried food. Needed food for them ASAP. I got you. Janice has never heard of Rumble. Well, I mean, when was Rumble created? It hasn't been around very long. I mean, it's not YouTube level, but it's going to get there because a lot of larger channels are going there because it's freedom of speech. They're not blocked, they're not censored. You got Trump over there, Andrew Tate, your Ben Shapiro's, your Charlie Kirk's, your Matt Walsh's. There's a lot of big channels over there helping to promote it and get it bigger and bigger. My son-in-law is a gamer creator in Twitch. Oh, cool, Janice. Tommy says there's a section on Rumble though, but many other sections will queue them. Yeah. It doesn't just cater to gamers like Twitch does. MSC says, yeah, a plant sponsor now too. Well, I got a plant sponsor. If you don't mind sharing them and see who would that be. But if not, I understand you're saving it for the video. Very cool. Plant sponsor. I didn't even think that was a thing. That's awesome. June agrees on the stream. Yeah, we had that discussion before. So you said the same thing. Your Oscars didn't like it. But you all know my stance on that. Northfin won me over, not just because he comes into your live streams. The man's come into my live stream and gifted 20 freaking memberships. The owner, Darius himself, he sends me shipments. He sponsored my channel. He educates. I can't even get Extreme to answer an email. So right off, I can tell he has a better business. We've been through this conversation 3 or 4 or 5 times. I just can't say it enough. So Darius won me over. Plus the food itself. The food speaks for itself. Janice keeps her lights on for 8 hours, and I have an issue. I have yet to have an issue with that. Very good. That's good, Janice. But to some of my lights were brighter. I had to adjust the intensity. A lot of them are programmable. Some are not. Now you guys know I'm going to dependent lighting on analog timers, which I'm not having any issues, and I like everything up off the lids. Hey, Jeff, good to see you. Appreciate you coming in, buddy. Bluetooth timer, just one view. Right. I've heard of these, and I heard they're amazing. I've thought about it, but as time goes on, I find I'm enjoying getting simpler and simpler. Simpler means easier. The less you have. The things you own end up owning you. So the less you have, the better. And the order I get, I'm finding I like. So I know that Bluetooth timers are going to be easy, and they are. I understand how they work, and you're right. They're a fantastic tool. However, they cost a lot more than an analog timer. And I've had 2 or 3 things now where the Bluetooth went out, whatever that component is that's integrated onto the circuit cards of lights, mice, the Bluetooth fails. I had a Fluval Aqua Skylight. The Bluetooth failed in it. I couldn't do anything with it. Well, I'm so glad I didn't pay full price for that light. A mouse. The Bluetooth went out in this mouse. I had to use the dongle to make it work again. I know with my analog timers, they're going to work for a very long time. And they're very, very simple. Now, I know Jeff and I, we both are big fans of the app driven lights. I like them. I love that you can hook up with, I think it's like 50 lights on one app, Fluval app, to run all your aquariums. And there's, when the power goes out, it's so easy to just sync up and they all turn back on right where they left off. There was no reprogramming. Rumble is more attractive to some because it's unbiased info, which ultimately means you have to weed through the info yourself, but it is more available as far as ideas go. I'm ordering Dr. Bass from KGE. What are your current? Does anybody have any updates on KGE? I'm kind of curious. I haven't seen him in a long time. I know what he's got going on. Sketty said she's ordering some food from KGE, so I'm assuming he's still doing all right. Daniel says Flippal plants or the Aqua Skies are a good all-in-one light rig, fully programmable with Bluetooth control from the device. Pricey but worth it. Exactly. You and I are on the same page with that, Daniel. So is June. Daniel says I like my fluvals, but my really Glorium, and that's a much cheaper brand name. Is that correct, Jeff? And this is why I like talking on live streams, because you learn things. You know, I would have never thought Glorium would outdo Fluval. Not just because of the name, because I have experience with the lights and they're amazing. Foxy Fish says, Sketty, I love the nano pumpkin. They're talking. Janice says, John is sick. John is sick. Who's John? Oh, from KG Tropicals. Is he still sick? I used the Groove Smart Plugs. Okay. I've never heard of that one. Says just one more fish. Atkins says the majority of my fish room is running on Wi-Fi timers. I can access them from anywhere with service. It's nice to have. Oh yeah, absolutely. Because you know sometimes we're out and power goes out. Wouldn't it be nice to just say, "Crap, let me check. Yep, they're off. Let me turn them back on." So that would be very handy versus my setup where it's just analog. I'm slowly moving to the pendant lights and the analog timers. I'm still running a lot of the LED strips. I kept my favorite, got rid of the crappy ones. Keith is hanging in there, still has foods and botanicals, among other things, for sale. Okay, thank you for the update. So we are at the bottom of the chat. I got to get a drink real quick. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. I'm dry. I'm going to start coughing. Oh, shit. So I got another question for you guys. So check this out. I think it was Sunday. Yeah, Sunday I spent all day tearing apart an old shed. And this happened. That is from slamming a sledgehammer onto my finger at work. That thing is sore, and it's making things just like opening this hard. June misses her bird squawk. Yeah, that one you heard there is Kiko. She's our Quaker parrot, and she is one spicy bitch. She's bipolar, I think. She likes me and then hates me, and likes me and hates me, and likes me and hates me. She flies after me. She attacks me, but then we're friends. Right now, I'm out of the circle, and she hates my ass. My little buddy, Cockatiel, he's my little buddy. I'm his person. She says after a power outage, the fluval lights reset. to midnight, right? They're not badly priced. Cool. Just want to appreciate it, man. I mean, that's something I might look into. I certainly appreciate the information. If you go across one of my videos, if you don't mind, maybe you can share a link. If you're not in my Discord, which links up there to join, you're more than welcome to come in. Maybe you can join the Discord and share the link to it there so I can check it out. Either way, I'm trying there. They have a thing called gloves. June, I know. I have been working manual labor and, most of my life. And then, went out, got an education, got an associate with electricity, blah, blah, blah. Years later, field service technician. I still do labor, but it's not hard manual labor like I used to when I first started. And that's just from running the scraper because these idiots, it's an 8x8 shed. These idiots put 4 layers of shingles on this roof. My God, what a pain in the butt. But I got it off. But yeah, I put gloves on after the facts, but hindsight, right? Okay, says, thanks, Allison. Tell Keith missed them. Okay. Jeff says, cheaper and better options as well as external build. Time will tell on the long term if it is Wi-Fi, but doesn't have to be. It also has a manual selection and temp probe. They should sponsor me. Oh, yeah, Jeff, absolutely. Okay, very cool. So this is the glow ram you're talking about, right? Yeah, obviously. Very cool. Time will tell. I'm gonna just let you ride with that, and then you can tell me. It says my hate and love spread equally, no more, no less. That's what birds did you write, except for the cockatiels, June. They are sweet. If I'd recommend a bird for, and mine talks all the time. You heard them earlier. But most birds do. They go from 0 to 60 seconds. But my little buddy, he can give attitude sometimes, but his bites don't hurt you. The Quakers does, and he's mostly sweet. Oh, I always do only Oscars for that reason. See, I hear OBS is frustrating. When I first started this thing, I was thinking, how do I want to stream? And I tried them all. I ended up using StreamYard for a while. Now I'm just going through YouTube. I researched OBS. I talked to a lot of people. I've researched it. I hear it's more of an advanced streaming platform. You've got to know what you're doing, or it can just run you down a rabbit hole. I'm tired of hearing that rabbit hole. Everyone's using it now, and I'm using it too much. I got to think of something else. But I guess OBS, you got to really know what you're doing. It's a little bit more advanced. It's not as simple. And I like simple. I like efficient. I like easy. And I hear people have a lot of problems with OBS. Stephen P uses it. I think he does pretty good with it. It does have a lot of different features you can't get anywhere else. And I really like the other night when he was on his live stream and someone wanted to see that purple plant behind his head. All he did was disappeared himself, but the tank still stayed there. I was like, how did you do that? He said OBS. Looks like Jeff Kane joined the Discord. Appreciate you joining, buddy. Appreciate you. Over at Discord, I did start this monthly event. Last Friday of every month, we do an event. You share your pictures of your favorite aquarium, your best looking aquarium in the aquarium contest channel. You'll see it on the left menu. On the last Friday of every month, everybody gets them in from Friday to Sunday, and on Monday we vote, and whoever votes wins. Is Jody P still in here? Let's just start chatting on Discord. Are you in here, Jody P? Did you get your package from me? Your winnings? Okay, Jeff. You got it. Very good. Good. Great. I'm glad to hear you got it. Very good. Let me know how your fish like that North Fin food, Jody P. Jody P won community pellets and a thing of Bug Pro for winning the contest on my Discord event. Well, that's okay, Jody P. It's fine. I'm not worried about you anything. I just wanted to make sure it got delivered. And I am trying to buff up my Discord channel a little bit more and get more activity over there. And I like Discord. Gives you a place to, I guess, M&C, that's another thing I'm on is Discord because I really like, I know you said you left it, but it's a great way to get the behind the scenes and talk to people. And that's where like Branton shared some of his work he did on his auto body work. It's really neat to see his work. It kind of it's a nice hub to bring everybody together. Kara C came in. Good to see you. Evening, mine birds are really cool. Okay. We got a Quaker parrot. We got a cockatiel, and the only other bird that I would like to have if I was to get another one, which is not going to happen, that would be the Indian ringneck. Well, that bird's amazing. My fish tank's good to see you, buddy. Appreciate you coming in. Everybody saying hello to Jeff over at Discord. Keeps popping up and blocking my chat. Not like a macaw or a parrot. They're super cute, full sentence talkers. Yeah, Kara. Macaws are great. The only other bird I'd consider the super intelligent and by far the best, most articulate talking bird is the African gray. Held one time, and they're amazing. The cockatoo is a very cool bird. They can't talk as well, but they are fun. They're big dancers. The thing that kind of drew me away from big birds is they decide to bite you. They can bite your finger off. They have a very immense, strong bite. Little birds hurt, but they can't take your finger off. Not that I was scared of it. Now we could get used to it and train it, but there's even if these little birds they can change from 0 to 60. You never know one's going to bite you. I by far rather have a Quaker parrot, which draws blood, or a cockatiel bite me than one of them big boys. But birds are amazing. June had 2 cockatiels. They're sweet as heck. Cute. He's always talking to. I get him talking for you right now. Let me know if you hear him. What are you doing? He always says, what are you doing? What are you doing? You hear him whistling back? That's my little buddy. Every night he likes his head rubs. He gets on my finger and I rub his head. He loves his head rubs. And I'll tell you something funny. Of course, we give our birds baths, but we do it in a spray bottle and spray it. And you have never seen such a funny performance. I think I have a short out on it. Oh my God, is that funny? They look like they're dying or injured. But I guess every one of them do that. Skay says she rotates chlorella, the standard and garlic. Talking about food. Cecil used to raise cockatiels back in the 80s. Yeah. And the guy we got this cockatiel from was a breeder and raised them. Super dry. Jody P, did I ever send you stickers? I hope I sent you stickers already. Because if I didn't, I'm going to kick myself in the butt for not putting 2 stickers. Did I put stickers in with them? I can't remember. Jen says, yes, she did. Yes. Cool. Jen says, I rescued a parakeet. She definitely likes to mimic sounds. She's in a loving home now, and she is a ham. Awesome, Janice. I always like to hear good stories like that. Cockatiels are so sweet and snuggly. They are. They're cute. Everyone's saying, why I don't have your sticker. June, you're not in. Are you in Discord? I can't. Almost the only way that I can communicate with you guys outside of here, I need you to send me your address. But are you able to do it in Discord? I have Messenger. I could do Messenger if you're on Facebook. I think we've had this conversation. I don't think you're on any of those. How can I get your address? Email you, probably, right? I'll just email you. And you can give it to me that way, and I'll send you some out if you want some. All So, have you guys ever heard of ram mounts? James says my grandparents had a parakeet that could whistle, take me out to the ball game. Oh yeah, birds are amazing. Email's the best way. Okay, I'll get on your channel and email you, June. Next, we have to get Lily saying June. Foxy says Skitty had a parakeet that I thought was super friendly until I got the cockatiel. Yeah, I love birds. I didn't think I'd like them as much as I do. Ram mounts. Anybody ever heard of ram mounts? Cops use them in their cars a lot. We use them at our job to hold our laptops and phones and head units on different forklifts and things like that. But what I made, I made something today, but I gotta wait till the paint dries and it doesn't have any odor because I can't bring anything in here that has strong odor. It's not good for the birds' respiratory systems. So when that dries, I'm tired of this keyboard, right? Razer Huntsman keyboard. Because I don't have a good office chair, I'm always down low. So it's hard to type even with the kickstands up. So I'm designed a keyboard holder today on a RAM mount that's fully adjustable. So when this thing's ready, I will literally be able to put this keyboard anywhere I want it. It's going to be awesome. Jeff says, I use RAM mounts on my dirt bike kayak work. Yep, Jeff, I kind of thought you might because I know you're into kayak and stuff, but I love my RAM mounts, man. I use them for a lot of things. They're by far, I'm not going to say by far the best way, but they are a really good way to mount anything, whether at home, office, play, you name it. You don't go anywhere, no need. We don't either just because we have too many pets. Janice said, I had a cockatiel. She died. Oh, that's sorry. Yeah, that sucks, Janice. I'll be definitely tore up when these birds go. Any pet. If anything makes me sad, it's the loss of a pet. Have you looked at new game too? They're really company. I have, Daniel. But I actually did research on that, and I'm reading a lot of gamers are turning from gaming chairs to regular office chairs because they're more comfortable and cheaper. So this chair here I found on the side of the road. I just paid some money to have Stanley Steamer come out and clean it up. But I figured if it was beside the road, it was out there for a reason. And I figured it out not long after that this one will not stay up. It keeps dropping. But this has got Sealy cushions on it, and it's super comfortable. Yeah, my cat sitter and backup cat sitter have moved away. Yeah, so Sketty's in the same boat. Yeah, we got 3 big dogs. We got a cat, all these fish, 2 birds. It's impossible for us. We cannot rely on anybody if we will decided to take a vacation that could handle it. Because unfortunately, the one dog that I have, he's not going to put up with anybody but me and my wife and my daughter. I can't trust him. So I can't trust anyone to babysit for me, dog sit. But it's not just that, it's the mental aspect of it too. The whole time we're gone, are they doing okay? Are the birds okay? I'm not worried about the fish. The fish do a water change before you leave. Fish can go a week without eating, they'll be fine. Go for a vacation for you. I'm not worried about these fish, but I am worried about the dogs and the birds. Cats can take care of themselves, but you do got to clean that litter box. It's just the mental and physical end of it. We don't go anywhere. Now, once these pests start dying off and we don't have any, we're not getting any more, so we can enjoy life a little bit more easier. But I always had pets all my life. Love them. Can't get enough of them. I love pets. They're so innocent. They only want one thing to do, and that's to love you, especially dogs. Sketty has to. I have 3 weeks to bribe my kids to do it. Dennis says one of my gamers I watch has a huge, fluffy swivel chair that looks really nice. You know, I bet, Daniel. I do. I got to get me a proper chair. Kara says we used to like going to Staples and testing all the really nice chairs somewhere not as companies that like. You're right, Kara. Definitely, you are right. They can be deceiving. Tommy has 4 dogs, 4 cats, than all the other animals. Yeah, Tommy's got more pets than me. He's got a zoo in his backyard. She says, I get my niece to come over and babysit my 5 dogs and 6 aquariums when we leave and go anywhere. June says, I don't do vacations. Me, I'll do them if I can, but it's been many, many years. She says, she saved your life, and to lose it's even worse. Yeah. Tommy says, this spring I'm setting up new fencing around our house so the dogs have access to the porch in case they need to get under the cover while we're on vacation. Yeah, that's a great idea, Tommy. Alice says, we lost our pooch exactly 3 months ago, had her 160 or 16 and a half years. Oh, yeah. I don't think you never get over it, but it does heal in time. But the wound never closes. I've lost so many pets and been through that in every different aspect you can think of. I've been through it, and it, no matter what way, no matter how much time, it never gets easier. There's times I think back to my pets that I had when I was a kid that I can remember, and it's still pain in my heart. She says they were a newspaper hero for sure. Saved the clipping, yeah. Yeah, it's just one of them wounds that never heal, but it does get a little easier as time goes on. I don't know about you guys, but, and I'm not saying I'm not overly sad about losing friends, family members. It's always a hard thing to do. But for some reason, and I'm not saying this in a negative way. I think any of us animal lovers can relate. I think I have a harder time dealing with pet loss than people. And I think it's because, and then when people ask me why, I say, I think it's because they're so innocent, especially dogs. Dogs have one goal. Who do you know of that's that excited to see you when you come home? That excited to see you, to just love you? All they want is love, and they're innocent. They're not corrupt. They're pure. And when something like that goes away, one of your best friends is one of the hardest things to deal with. And I feel that way about everything. Pets, animals. But as I said at the beginning of the stream, I don't share that deep of emotion with fish. I'm bummed when I lose fish, but it doesn't ruin my day. If what would have happened with this Oscar was one of my dogs, I wouldn't be on here talking to you for a week. Cecil has a hard time with pets too. Jeff has agreed with that. It's just it is something else. Talking about our tricolor cowboy corgi. Jeff says, you are not alone with that, Jesse. It's hard to lose pets. So I'm not the only one. I'm not a crazy freako. Oh, June cries about losing. See, I don't. I'm just bummed out. I just don't have as much as an emotional attachment to fish as I do our furry friends. Gina said we had to put our dog down in January, 2 days before her 16th birthday. She had a great life and gave us 4 beautiful puppies. Joey said, Sam, I cried for a week straight when we lost our old. Oh, yeah. And even when you know it's coming, it doesn't make it any better. I mean, it's by far the hardest thing. Does your kids come greet you at the door when you come home from work like they do? They're so happy to see you, they can hardly contain yourself. That is unconditional love. I couldn't work for a week. Mama cat died. Yeah, that's the same way. We're on the same page. I just want to tear up now thinking about certain instances. Yeah, June. Yeah, I'm getting there too. Let's change the subject. Let's change the subject. I'm getting there too. Anyways, how about those Philadelphia Eagles, huh? Anybody in here Eagles fans? Good for you. I'm not a football guy. I don't watch football. I'm not into huge. If my favorite sport to play is baseball, but I can't stand watching it because it's like watching flies. I don't know if I'm allowed to say certain words on YouTube. I get leery with that. But good for the Philadelphia Eagle folks. I think I have more fun playing ping pong and corn toss. You're retired from fandom? Okay. I think I know what you mean by that, June. Just on one of the Eagles, there is a kid from the town over from me, and he is a rookie. Oh, neat. That's very cool. Johnny No Shoes. Why call you Jeff? Fuck's wrong with me? I don't watch sports either, JDPC. It is definitely tough. I like to watch baseball because you can do other stuff and don't miss anything. Yeah. I don't know about you guys, and I got to be careful what I say here, especially being down south because this is every bit as important to the Bible Belt down here. But NASCAR, I don't get it, man. I'm sorry, I don't get it. Yeah. Yeah. That's me with NASCAR right there. June says I rooted for the Cowboys from childhood only to make my parents mad. I do like to watch the Steelers play. You don't get as a Texan, you don't get NASCAR either. Me either. Not from, and you're from India, okay, Indiana. Uh, I love to play sports. It's just nap time if I have to sit and watch. Exactly. IndyCar all the way. IndyCars are cool. Kara says only sports thing I'd like to watch is the Florida Man games, but I got outvoted for Bike Week. Uh-oh. Yeah, Johnny No Shoes was in here before. Cheryl sent stickers. Yeah, I like to play. No, baseball. If I wanted to play sports, it's gonna be baseball. But like I said, watching us like watching two flies. And he hit it long in the left field. And it's coming back to third base. And he rounded home. I watch some fights sometimes and some dirt bike races. Okay. I'm not a fan of cars going in circles, making left hand turns. Hey, Joey is back home. Good to see you, buddy. Joey Fish, Jose, appreciate you. Fish care now. I got you. Only sports I intentionally sit down to watch is Winter Olympics. Yeah. Well, that's interesting. Well, having said that, we've been on for an hour and a half. I do have birds to take care of. You guys know the drill. We will see you Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern for my Hour Power live stream. We had a lot of good topics, a lot of good conversation here on this live stream. Really enjoyed it and really enjoyed talking with you guys. So, no, thank you, Sketty. Thanks for everyone that came in. Appreciate you guys. It's what makes it all worthwhile. Just chatting with you. It doesn't always have to be about fish. So enjoyable. I think I like doing live streams more than videos and shorts. That's why I've mainly been just doing live streams lately. I do, however, have to finish my Higer video. Nicole keeps asking me where it's at, so I got to give her a follow up. But like I told her, I wanted to give that Higer Canada hang on the back canister filler time to run to check the durability of it. And I am happy to report it is still running strong and it has not clogged up and stopped. And don't thank you, Sketty. Yes, don't forget tomorrow on Rumble we are going to have me, Tommy, Mexicali Fishkeeper, anyone that wants to come up, really. And we're going to have a good conversation on fish keeping conspiracies, myths, and talk about all kinds of different things. So I think it'll be fun. Tommy shared the link there, so it's going to be a good time. He'll be streaming from Rumble, and it's also going to be going to YouTube. And what was the third one, Tommy? I missed that. What was the third platform you're streaming to? I I missed that. Oh, locals. Yeah, I don't understand that. You'll have to teach me about that. So, all right, good enough, guys. Appreciate you. Be safe for the rest of the week. Have fun. Stay warm. Stay dry. And as always, stay fishy, my friends. See you guys later.